Rationalization in mathematics. Rationalization is a technique used to eliminate irrational numbers, like square roots, from the denominator of a fraction. This makes the expression simpler and easier to work with. Let's go through this process with some examples. Step-by-step explanation. Step 1. Identify the irrational part. First, look at the fraction and identify if there is an irrational number, like a square root, in the denominator. Example 1. Frac 1 squirt 2. Here, squirt 2 is the irrational part in the denominator. Step 2. Multiply by the conjugate if needed. If the denominator is a single square root, you don't need to worry about the conjugate yet. For more complex denominators, the conjugate will come into play. Example 1. Squirt 2. We multiply both the numerator and the denominator by squirt 2, 1 squirt 2, times frac 2, squirt 2, squirt 2 dot squirt 2, 2, 2. Now the denominator is a rational number 2. Example 2. Frac 1 plus squirt 3. Here the denominator is 1 plus squirt 3, a binomial with a square root. We need to multiply by the conjugate, which is 1 minus squirt 3. Frac 1, 1 plus squirt 3, times frac 1 minus squirt 3, frac 1 minus squirt 3, 1 minus squirt 3, 1 minus squirt 3, fraction. Step 3. Simplify. Perform the multiplication and simplify the expression. For example 2, the denominator simplifies using the difference of squares formula. 1 plus squirt 3, 1 minus squirt 3 equals 1/10 20 square 2, 3 equals 1 minus 3 equals minus 2. So the fraction becomes frac 1 minus a squirt 3 minus 2 equals frac 1 minus squirt 3, 1, 2, plus frac 1, 3. Summary of the process. 1. Identify the irrational part. Find the square root or irrational number in the denominator. 2. Multiply by the conjugate if needed. For binomials, use the conjugate to eliminate the irrational part. 3. Simplify. Multiply and simplify the expression to get a rational denominator. Why rationalize? Simplification. Easier to read and work with. Standardization. Common format for mathematical expressions. Further calculations. Make subsequent calculations simpler. By following these steps, you can rationalize fractions and make them easier to handle in various mathematical operations.